The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. The Rap Roundtable is back for another episode of the Lunch Hour. You know, no reruns, another brand new edition. But there's going to be another rerun coming soon, you know, because as the space starts to elevate and things start moving around, there's an episode of the Rap Roundtable that a lot of y'all didn't see, and we're going to put it back out so y'all can tap in and get familiar with all of our takes. As y'all get to know us and y'all see, y'all watch the live, some of our viewers really pay attention to us, and they've gotten to know us through the podcast, and we want to make it easy for y'all to get to know us by way of tapping in with our old work, which would be new to y'all. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's your boy Jov here alongside Sincere the Rap Snob.
What up, what up?
Alongside Deanie the Chef.
Yo.
Alongside the homie Mace.
Again.
Real quick, before you do anything else, hit that like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that we can continue to run the numbers up. As you see, we're progressing. We're on a road to 7K. We're already at 6.1. Things are moving in the right direction. Eventually, we're trying to get to that 10K plateau because I'm looking at the space and I noticed that 10K is definitely a plateau that opens doors for larger scale interviews, and we want in on those larger scale interviews. When they see you got that little bit of clout and 10K on YouTube, they think of people jacking and shit. They want to fuck with you. And I need in on that. The homies need in on that. You know what I mean?
Big facts. Trying to eat.
That's a fact. Real quick, fellas, before we get into the main event. News came out that Universal Music Group is leaning into... I'm going to pull this up because I want to make sure I quote it right, because Sincere asked a question that everybody asked at the same time. Universal Music Group embraces AI soundscapes with new deal. The music label led by CEO Lucian Grange will use artificial intelligence technology to allow UMG artists to create mood music soundscapes while enforcing their copyrights. So the only time I ever heard the word soundscapes is when Sincere says it when we do album reviews. So... what is this, Sincere? Help us, stupid.
Bro,
break it down.
You know what I mean?
Break it down,
I'm confused. Like the only thing this is horrific, man. Mm-hmm. This is like absolute gutter trash. Mm-hmm. Like these are like just absolute vultures out there. Just trying to like move the actual artists out the way and have computers just take over. Because to me, when I hear somebody say soundscapes, the only thing I could think of is make beats. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make instrumentals, make some for people to be able to, you know, sing over or rap over or whatever. And you know, like I read this and I'm like, what mood music soundscapes? Like, are you just trying to like not say the word make beats? Like, I'm offended. I'm offended, bro. Like as a producer, as a beat maker, you know what I mean? You just trying to like move us out the way. Is that what's going on here? Like, talk to me, fellas. Like, cause this shit got me like, one, confused, and two, if it is what I think it is, I'm insulted, bro. Like, you're just gonna have AI making like generic ass vulture beats? Like,
yes,
pretty much.
This is what I think it is. You know how like you go on YouTube and like, you remember how we griped about lo-fi shit a couple years ago?
Yes.
And lo-fi went viral, and then like randos was making like lo-fi instrumentals to play as like blue, like what is it called again? Like white noise. Basically, it was trading white noise for lo-fi beats in the background while you do your homework or whatever. I think that some smart person at Universal Music realized that a lot of people don't care to have lyrics. If there's a certain kind of beat playing in the background, a certain kind of mood music, soundscape, we can monetize this. And we don't have to pay a human. We can have AI replicate sounds that people like and let them listen to it for $1, $2. You know what I mean? You stream that, you run those streams up, and we don't have to worry about an angry artist. You know what I mean? Or if you're gonna use copyrighted lyrics from an artist that's already on Universal, so Universal kind of eats twice off the same shit. You know, it sure seems like they're robbing themselves to pay themselves. Shout out to Universal for once again finding a way to pay themselves and not the artists. And now you got a computer. Skynet is real. I'm on it now. What's next? AI rappers, AI beat makers. Maybe I'm wrong.
At a time, bro.
Y'all got something to add to this? I'm bugging, bro. I don't know.
So basically what? Okay, computer, like, you know, make a J Dilla beat.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, maybe not as crafty as a Dilla beat, but
make a Timbaland beat.
And like the imitation of, I listen to all type of music, but we rap heads, right? So I'm speaking specifically about rap. You know how like when a DJ Mustard came out, or like a Metro Boomin came out, and the general sentiment was that this is like factory music. Well, they said fuck the people. We actually are going to make factory music. You know what I mean? It's kind of nasty, and I kind of liken it to like when Napster and all of that shit first dropped. You know what I mean? We never knew that we would get to the point where CDs were irrelevant and we were giving a fuck about streams, but not each stream. We were calculating 30,000 streams as one sale. Weird shit. This is the same thing. This is the next part of that for the music industry. You know what I mean? It's gonna affect it completely negatively. Like they're getting computers to make beats, bro. Like that's what you're telling me. Like we make it like that's what we're doing now. There's gonna be niggas that do computer beat freestyles. You know what I mean? It's gonna be like it's really cutting a large portion of money out of a lot of people's hands, because we all know when it comes to music, the producers actually get more money than the artists a lot of the times on specific records. So it's really, for years, people were stealing music. You know what I mean? People were making mixtapes. People were doing all type of shit. And people were like, whoa, how's the music industry going to eat? Well, they found a way, right? And it's going to affect artists and listeners negatively for the future. Like, think about, we might have grandkids that only know AI rappers and AI music, right? That's where we're headed. We need to be nervous about this. I know we joking about it, talking about it in jest, but this is real shit, man. Like, this is, I don't mean to act like the sky is falling, but goddamn, like they keep putting little shit out. You know what I mean? Like they got this with the beats, Timbaland making Biggie songs, and now acting like he wants to go completely in that direction. You know what I mean? So they keep dropping little tidbits, but soon it's gonna be, Biggie and performing, Lil Uzi and Playboy Cardi songs over AI beats, bro.
I just want to rock.
Song.
Oh no.
Right.
And that,
I just want to pop.
That's
Oh my
and like the Timbaland aspect of this is even more distressing to me, because like I look at Timbaland as an OG. You know what I mean? He was of the era. He was of the cloth. And I feel like he, I would think he would have a little bit more respect for the culture, or be a little bit more protective of it. But, but then I think about it and I'm like, bro, that dude was, he left the culture for fucking Justin Timberlake and what's the name? Fly Like a Bird.
Nelly Furtado.
Nelly Furtado, bro. Like,
he said fly like a bird.
So he's always.
I like that song.
Yo, bro. I mean, it's a cool song, but it's like he's always.
I was 10 when it dropped.
Right.
He's always been on his eclectic shit.
Right. Well, I wouldn't even call it
Y'all
eclectic.
shooting a lot of bail for Timbo right now.
Listen, I wouldn't even call it eclectic. I would call it opportunistic. Like, you know what I mean? Wherever there's an opportunity to make a little buck, he's not really gonna think twice about it. And if it's a detriment to the culture, then he's gonna say fuck it. You know what I mean? That's what I've seen him do before, and that's what I'm seeing him do now, man. A lot of people of the culture, a lot of producers. I know Young Guru, I know Buck Wild, I know several people who have gone on Instagram, on social media, talk about this is Timbaland. This is not the move, man. Like, what are you doing? You gotta think twice about this. But I don't know, man. But Timbaland, he's off the lawn until further notice.
This is basically. You remember how niggas took all the jobs from the US and sent them shits over to Asia, bro? That's what niggas is doing now. Niggas is sending all it's a factory overseas with this AI shit, bro. I said it back when we talked about niggas selling their contracts. Like, now you have no access to your contracts. You done sold me your shit. I got access to AI. I can make beats that sound like beats you made already. I can make songs that sound like songs you made already. I can make renditions of the songs that you made already, because now I own your shit. Like, it's really a whole switch going on before our eyes, and niggas think it's a joke. The shit with Timberland is trash. I made real songs with Big, no made up shits. The shit was kind of soulless. The AI shit don't have the soul. I gotta give Charlamagne his props. He's the one that said that. The music just don't have no life. Like the energy in the music. The Biggie shit, don't get me wrong. When he dropped the Biggie shit, it sounded dope sonically. But the shit, it didn't have Biggie energy. Biggie, you felt Biggie on the track. Pause. You know what I'm saying? You just didn't feel it. You just felt this is Biggie's voice behind a dope beat with his kind of scheme. And that was good enough. And that's gonna be good enough for a lot of people coming forward. We have to acknowledge the culture is not held by the people like us no more, bro. It's held by the Ice Spice listeners. I gotta keep it a buck. People who just want to hear something good. You know I had to do it, y'all. Niggas that just want to hear something good and dip off to the side. Like some people want the lyrics, some people want the music, some people want the package. Pause. Some people just want to be entertained. I paused it, bro. So that was that medium pause.
Wasn't fast enough.
Sin, don't you dare try it.
It wasn't fast enough,
Sin, don't you try it.
No, you don't leave Sin alone. That was wild, bro.
People want the entire menu, basically. The whole thing is gone, bro. They just want a little tiny dessert. And they go with that. We're the last of the generation that's like, I need everything to be right. I need the snares, the kick. That it's done, bro. It's not like that anymore.
I wanna piggyback off of something Dini just said because he made a really good point. We're living in an era, and we're getting more and more into an era of it's good enough, it's close enough, right? It's not gonna be as authentic. It's not gonna be as soulful. It's not going to be as organic, but it's close enough. If it gets the job done and it gets me some streams until the next time I put out another song, that'll get me some more streams and just keep that train running.
Fast food
is good. It's good enough. You know what I mean?
Fast food.
And that's where we are right now, man.
And I'll take it a step further. With the creation of the AI rapping, right? Now we got AI soundscapes. To be fair, to put everything in its proper perspective, we're of the belief. We're not saying this is what it is because we don't want y'all to take this and run with it. We're of the belief that it just means that this is going to be digital instrumentals being built. Like no human is involved in the building of these soundscapes, right? This makes me just think about that whole metaverse shit. Eventually, niggas is not even gonna have to be real rappers. You're gonna create an avatar that's a rapper with a digital beat, with lyrics that you don't have to write, and you could program your avatar to be a rapper. And in like 10, 15 years from now, that's gonna be the star, the number one act in the genre is gonna be some person that an untalented individual just made up and posted on the internet. I think that's where this is going. And that's pretty terrifying because it takes away from the true artists, the artistry of the craft. Anytime you digitize something, you're taking away from the artistry. Like even like going back to the assembly lines, how people lost jobs because the assembly lines are no more once you became able to get machines to do the work for the human beings. And I think right now we're going to start seeing people like myself. I'm not a rapper. In 10, 20 years from now, I might be able to build a person. You know what I mean? Even for playing The Sims, so I could just build a digital, like I'm projecting, it's the Matrix, bro. The digital projection of your mental self, and I can make myself rap, you know what I mean? And make beats, and then I go viral because my digital projection is a viral act that a label wants in on, because they're already showing they want. Wasn't there an AI dude early this year, late last year? So they have no morals. This is concerning. Right.
Yeah.
And real quick, Ice Spice, Taylor Swift, #1 fly lifestyle rapper in the game, like, doing it again, proving me right. Shout out to Ice Spice.
Oh shit! Crystal ball job,
crystal ball job, man. Always. The one silver lining I see here, if recent, very recent history is any indication, this might end up going the way of crypto, NFTs, the metaverse. I mean, we brought up the metaverse. All these shits is, they were big deals at the time. They were like, oh my God, we're in the future. like everything is going to change, and then the bubbles burst, and they go by the wayside. You know what I mean? Like NFTs died, so like people saw through that scam super quick.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Good point, Sam. Good point.
So we just gotta wait and see. It's very concerning, but I mean, maybe people are smarter than we give them credit for, and they'll see through this scam the way they saw through NFT and crypto, and
hopefully
come out the better port on the other side.
Yes, sir.
We just gotta hope there's no more secret agents like COINTELPRO Timbo. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Wherever the cash is at, man, they gonna be there.
The Rap Roundtable has been around long enough to call Timbaland a culture vulture. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That podcast is getting more and more problematic, bro.
Dangerous.
Not only the most influential, the most dangerous. Y'all be biting our bars on the internet, bro. I'm getting real tight.
A lot.
Don't ever tag us. A lot
madness indeed.
A lot of people with strong followers watch the Rap Roundtable and they take our bars and they don't credit us. I know that's how the game is dirty. That's how it goes. But nobody else is calling Mr. Morale in the big steppers, Mr. Morale in the mid steppers. That's our bar. We phrased it, and I'm seeing May Shade in the group chat. People are using that line all of a sudden, and they're not giving us our writers credit. We're not getting our publishing.
Listen,
the innovators.
I don't
innovators, man.
I don't agree with the sentiment, but I do want the publishing.
Come on now, give us our publishing.
Look at the dates, man. Look at the dates, y'all. That's all y'all gotta see.
We said that we want to veer away from being topical with one particular artist, even though he does good business for the show. And you look around the space, and all other podcasts, all of a sudden, they're trying to move away from the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
I'm just trying to show y'all, I pay attention to the internet, and we are the most influential podcast, bro. Believe what you want to believe, bro. We're always first, and then motherfuckers, they go to our shit for content, and they do their shit, and they don't give us the credit. It's okay. Eventually, we'll be there, and we'll have so many receipts. You know what I mean? But to the main event of this show, we have a gentleman who reached out to us, an artist who's been a fan of the show, I would say, from its inception. And he hit us up super earnest, like, yo, I got some music coming out. I see what y'all do when y'all do your album reactions, how much thought y'all put into really breaking down the music. Y'all not fanboys. Y'all really love this shit. And I would love for y'all to critique my project in the same way that y'all would critique any person who has a deal. And that artist's name is I Am God. I act out of Chicago. Super dope lyricist. You know what I mean? And if you a lot of times people think about Chicago and the first thing they think about is drill. This person right here, and especially with this project, is making it clear that not only is there drill in Chicago, but there's real rap, real lyricism in New Chicago. Old Chicago, of course, the bars are there. But in New Chicago, who is the true lyricist coming out of there like that? I don't know. I know there's somebody I'm probably forgetting right now who does that. But maybe Chance.
Lupe would be there.
Lupe's newish, but I feel like he came out of 04, so it's like, to me, he represents like the old guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
06 same shit.
The new wave, this guy is doing it. So he dropped this project called Bloodstained Suede. Dope title.
Yes.
Deanie, we haven't heard much from you. You know, we've been over talking you a lot so far this lunch hour, so we'll let you lead off with this project. What is your takeaway from this listen?
You know, like I always say, I'm gonna keep it a buck. No disrespect to you, my dude, but yo, every time someone hands me some new music, I go in like 90% of the time, like this shit gonna be trash. I'm sorry. This is nothing against any specific artist. We've all been through this. You know what I'm saying? I was beyond pleasantly surprised by this dude. I got barred to death in a great way, not in a wake me up when it's over type way. This dude I felt like this dude went into the booth each time for every record with purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Before you continue, you said there wasn't too much grit on the grit.
There wasn't too much grit on the grit, but in a beautiful way. Shout out to another one of the Rap Roundtable isms. But I mean, no wasted bars, bro. Every bar landed, no filler. You know I hate filler. When you have a great bar, you basically dance 2 trash bars in between it and end with a decent 4th bar all the way through. Brought up a lot of ills that we experience in our communities. I wrote shit down. Talked about the violence, the poverty, steps he's taken to avoid them traps. himself and his family, preaching unity, talking about all the op shit going on out here, man, all the violence, all the drama. Shout out to his producer, because I felt like that was like a perfect match between like old and new. It didn't feel like something that came out in the 90s, but they still somehow captured that old school vibe by still making it feel like modern. It don't feel like it's timed. It's not dated. It's just great music. It was conceptual. Listening to the music, I need videos. Like I really listen to this shit. Like, yo, the visuals behind this would be like marvelous, and it's that beautiful blend between righteousness and ratchetness. So it's what I like. So salute to that man. I was beyond impressed. I can't front. This ain't no selling. Like, I will be going back through that man's catalog and checking shit out. Salute to I Am God. Salute to Clipto. I mean, it was fire. It was fire, bro. I can't even hold it. Okay. It was really fire. Salute to him, man.
Talk to me.
Hey. Yes, like you said, it's actually a collaborative effort by I Am God and Clipto. Like, the Clipto produces every track. And I gotta say, man, because I think a lot of shit is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even just shit niggas hand me, shit that niggas is signed. Like, I just be thinking a lot of shit is
facts.
But I really like this joint. I'm not gonna lie. Bloodstained Suede. The album title itself is just some ill shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? I went into it making sure I knew as little about and as possible. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to listen. I just wanted to give it an honest, because not often you see the label bullshit and you see the controversy these days before you ever hear artist music. So it's a pleasant experience to just be like, let me just listen to what they got to say. So a couple of pros. Like Dini mentioned, the production soundscape. Since we're using that today, it had that like 70s blaxploitation feel.
Damn you,
saying
man.
Something.
Damn you. That was my fun.
My bad, y'all.
Cook.
Great Von Stink alike.
Facts, you know what I mean? Gave the last album I heard that really gave me that feeling, I'm gonna be honest, was Return of the Mac, Prodigy. I don't know if you remember P post Mobb Deep days. That's hearing it, but sonically, that's how I was feeling. You know what I mean? I was like, I ain't heard this in a while. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up listening to rappers that, was born in the 70s, or grew up in the 70s. So they was giving us this type of shit. So you ain't really heard this feel in a while. There's a lot of, we mentioned that he has bars, you know what I mean? Sometimes there's different types of bars, right? Some rappers overdo it with the flow. Some rappers, are super punchline heavy. You know what I'm saying? Some rappers are straight about their wordplay. I feel like I Am God, he has elite imagery. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when he speaks, you watching what he's talking about. And I feel like that movie-like production almost goes hand in hand with the type of rapper he is. You know what I mean? And like, let's be honest, y'all. We love KRS, right? We love Tupac. We love Nas. You want to know why? Because real conscious rap by real niggas is the best genre that there is. And that's how I felt listening to this. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with the cons, I felt like he could have maybe sprinkled a little bit more flows in there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a couple songs I was like, I want him to kind of switch up the way he's rapping a little bit. Not that it was bad, but just, listening to it with a critical, listening to it with a critical ear. You know what I mean? So I might have tweaked the track list a bit, because I feel like early in the album we have a lot of short songs, and then the long songs coming to end. I feel like maybe he could have divvied that up a little bit, and by no fault of his own, you're gonna hear the Freddie Gibbs comparisons. I feel like when I first heard his voice, that's who I immediately thought of. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily a con.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, just to throw it out there. And that's you can't help how you sound. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go with my favorite song as Civil War. Excellent track. Just like I said, conscious rap by real niggas. He spoke real on the whole song. Then he had, you know what I mean? Not to spoil it, but then he had like the different news clippings, and he ended with Von and FBG and him being a Chicago nigga. I just was into the whole shit. You know what I mean? So more way above solid project by I Am God and Crypto. I'm actually looking forward to the next joint bro drop. Shout to him, man.
Okay.
Facts.
Thorough review from Mace. I know Sin got something.
I mean, Mace taking everybody's bars, bro.
Word.
Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. It's my turn.
Yeah.
Everybody else does it.
First and foremost, that's a fact. I'm more guilty than anybody.
Take each other's bars now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit.
Might as well, man.
First and foremost, bro is nice, bro.
Yeah.
Just like as soon as I cut on the first song, and I didn't play it in order because I just threw like we have files that were sent to us, and so I didn't look at the track list first. I just started playing like the songs, and like the first song that I heard actually I think is one that was that's close to the end of the album, but like regardless of what song you throw on, like immediately it's going to hit you like he's not an average rapper. You know what I mean? Not this kid is nice. This kid is born. I'm calling him a kid. I don't know how old he is, but
right?
this dude is born to rap, bro. And like it could only go up from here. You know what I mean? It's like if this is my introduction to him, I'm in. I'm sold. I'm gonna be a fan. You know what I mean? I'm gonna check everything he puts out. You know what I mean? I'm already excited for like the official drop. I'm definitely gonna have this project in rotation, but let me get into it a little bit. To reiterate something that Mace mentioned, the Freddie Gibbs comparison. Me personally, like, and I generally don't like comparing artists to other artists because I know, there's always going to be that feeling of like, yo, but I'm my own artist. Like, don't compare me to dude over there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's always going to be that, but just so that like the listeners and viewers can get a full picture of what to expect once the project actually drops. I feel like the flow was reminiscent of Freddie Gibbs. I feel like the voice reminded me of Larry June. Yeah. Right? And those are like, if you mash those two up, right, but make it more conscious, more street level conscious, you know what I mean? Because Freddie's gonna give you the coke raps. Larry June's gonna give you the fly lifestyle, but the curveball here is that I Am God he's very much at his core, I feel like a conscious rapper, but like May said, from like a real like street ground level point of view, you know what I mean? So not on some high horse shit, not on some like, I'm up here looking down on the peons and I'm telling them what they should be doing, but he's of the people. You know what I mean? But he sees through the matrix. You know what I mean? So I love that about it. The production, right? As we've said, Crypto produced the whole project, and it's cohesive. It's got, like was mentioned before, it's got that 70s vibe to it, right? Excellent sample choices for I Am God to get his bars off on. And the way that the sound bites and the skits and the newscasts in the background were like weaving in and out of the songs. I love the attention to detail that was put into this project because there's an arc to it, right? Uh-huh. And I'm very much as a lot of you viewers probably know. I bring this up whenever I notice it. I'm very big on narrative arcs, and the project itself builds sort of a narrative arc from beginning to end, but also within the songs. I think I Am God, one of his strongest points is that he knows how to build an arc within a verse. You know what I mean? Deanie said earlier, there's no wasted bars here, and that's absolutely 100% correct. Like the thought that he puts into how this verse is going to begin and climax and end on some of these songs is immaculate, right? This kid is so skilled. My favorite joints, like May said, Civil War, ill. That second verse on Civil War,
crazy.
Lost my mind. Like the imagery, the way he paints pictures with words, crazy. 87 Miami Vice is some fly shit. And this is when this is when I started thinking like, oh, I started getting the Larry June vibes to it because it was some super fly lifestyle type of vibe to it. Chosen Part 2, Dialogue. Really that preemptive pause, but that meaty middle area. It's from track 3. I had to preemptive pause it, but from track 3.
Yo, if this wasn't a review, bro, we'd have muted you for that shit.
But track 3 to track 6, bro, that middle clip right there,
yeah, ridiculous.
Yo, immaculate.
Okay.
If I had any detractions, I'm sometimes it's hard for me to listen to like an underground project or like an up and coming artist project with the same ear that I listen to, like a mainstream project with, because obviously mainstream projects are going to have the bigger budget for the professional engineers and like to have it mixed and mastered like to the utmost. But there could have been some joints that could have been mixed a little better. I feel like off the top of my head, I forget which song had there was like a vocal sample throughout. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when there's a song where I love beats with vocal samples throughout, but the vocal sample has to be ducked. It has to be EQ'd so that the vocals of the rapper or the artist can actually float over top of it. You know what I mean? So little things like that. I think maybe some of the some songs were mixed better than others. But other than that, I think this is like Yini said, I was more than pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to go in expecting. And I dug it. I spun it 2 or 3 times. It's definitely gonna be in rotation when it actually drops. I'm super impressed. Shouts to I Am God and Clipto.
Well, for me, I think my first takeaway is when we talk about underground artists, especially recently when we got into Conway, we were talking about how just because you're unsigned or underground, that doesn't mean that you can't make a complete project filled with soundscapes, sound effects, a little bit of a female touch as far as an R&B hook or a bridge here and there, and connective tissue throughout the project that makes it feel like it's not just somebody rapping over a sped up sample with no hooks, barring you to death. You can bar somebody to death and make great songs, sandwich them with some hooks. You know what I mean? And I think that Bloodstained Suede was successful in doing so. Now, again, you're hearing us bloviate about this album, but it doesn't mean that we're giving it like a 5 out of 5 flawless victory. It's just that this album, because of our predisposition to approach unsigned artists with this might be trash. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this has nothing to do with the artist. It's just that there's so many bad rappers out here that you always have to brace yourself when a person says, yo, check my music out, because it might be bad. When you put on that album and it starts the way it does, it's like, oh, this guy is not playing around. This is a person who's not just a dude who picked up the pen a year ago. Like, he's been honing his craft. He said he's been on a 5-album run. A couple of times throughout this project, he mentioned that. So he's just fine-tuning since 2020 his craft and creating a sound. Like, what we got with this project might have been something that he's been building towards since 2020. Maybe this is the magnum opus of trying different sounds, different beats, different producers, and finding what works. The thing that stood out for me, and that's why I was so upset that Mace mentioned it, it was the black exploitation aspect of the beat selection. That 70s funk sample. High key, that's my favorite shit, like to hear sampled. But like outside of like, a dope ass piano, or know how I feel about pianos and horns on beats. Like, I hear those things, I'm sold. But like when you get into the 70s soul samples and the 70s funk samples, bro, to me, when it's done right, there's nothing better than that. Like it just hits. And then you put a nice rapper. Like remember what Ghostface was doing that? What he used to sound like?
Hell yeah.
Yo, like to me,
that clientele was pretty much that, man.
That combination of dope rapping over 70 samples to me is probably the best. And maybe it's the New Yorker in me that likes that, because a person in the South might say whatever 808 Mafia Metro was doing is the best thing he's ever heard. But for my New York ears, that's the best thing for me. And it's like when you think about the subject matter, like, you know, Sin made a good point about conscious rappers being, you know, kind of like high and mighty, you know. And that's why I always get lost. I don't want a conscious rapper telling me what I should do. What if I don't want to do that? Yeah. Right? He's giving you ground level Chicago from his perspective. And it's such a refreshing perspective because it's talking about the Black experience, the Black struggle. And what better soundscape to discuss that struggle than 70s shit? You know what I mean?
Facts.
That whole decade is dedicated to us uplifting each other to Afro. You know what I mean? Let's uplift as a people.
Black fist.
You know what I mean? And when I heard that, I'm like, this is fire. And at first, it's like I didn't have any expectations, so I'm just hearing next track. And I'm a crazy person, so I went to the track list to make sure that even though it was a bunch of files, that I played it in order because I wanted to feel the album the way it was meant to be felt.
Same here. That was annoying as hell, by the way.
Yeah, and I think
that was not easy to do.
I think I got to track 5 when I realized I'm like, oh, because early on, like he had a couple of joints where you had some songstresses on there and they were doing their thing. But then once we got around track 5 all the way till the end, it was strictly my people. We can do better. Right. Let's fight the good fight. Yeah, it's gonna be ops, but you don't have to do it that way either. But these bars are fire. For me, I want to pull up the track title. It was a track, I think it was track 5. It was track 5.
Dialogue of Men.
Living Men.
Dialogue.
When the beat
crazy.
switched.
And what that beat switch.
Right.
Woo. Tough.
Mm-hmm. And the little break, because again, it's like these little things. We get so many beat switches with beats just switch for no reason. Right. Mm-hmm. That song had a little break. I think there was like a little news clip or something in between to let you catch a breather before the beat switch, and then we took the song to another level. Again, it's like because rap is so industrial now that the thoughtfulness of making songs is so lost. You know, people call themselves curators in the rap game all the time, but to me, it just sounds like the same album over and over again. What exactly are you curating? When I put on this, that's why when I said last year that Freddie Gibbs had album of the year was because he took a lot of time with that album. It wasn't just songs. To me, like Alfredo, it was fire. Alfredo was fire. What was the other one that I always forget the name of?
Pinata.
Bandana.
That drum was heat.
I put Soul so separately above them because he sat down with this album. He had a theme. He had the skits. He had the woman who was like announcing things throughout there. Flight attendant voice. Like everything, every song had a purpose. We ended up in the South with homie from 3 6 Mafia, DJ Paul. Like we were all over the place, but it had a purpose. And to me, this album was the same way as far as everything meant. It was there intentionally, and I love that about the album. For me, I got some criticisms. As much as I love each song, I feel like if you're gonna go with heavy blaxploitation and you're gonna have that message, it's kind of hard to sneak in the songs with the girls on there. And it was like, I don't know if it belonged on that album. That's what I said. It was good, good song. But as far as a body of work, I'm not sure where it fits. That's my question. The next thing I would say is the flow is there, but some songs, I want to be a rapper. I Am God, he's rapping. But don't be afraid of a melody, bro. Because the way he flows, if he threw a little melody on some of the bars, not to say you gotta sing on your Gunna vibes or your Lil Baby vibes, but like a little bit of melody, kind of like how Fat Joe used to do early in 2000 when he was running around with Murder Inc. You know what I mean? Throw a little bit of something on it, just a little bit. just because it's like if you're gonna give us that flow repeatedly, or even like Petey Crack can give you a little bit of melody. You know what I mean? If you're gonna keep giving us that flow over and over again, give us variations of the same, not the same. Go ahead, Sam.
If I could piggyback off that, I think the songs where he shined the most were the ones where he did kind of break up the flow here and there. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll agree with that.
And I was like, and I started to fish for that, and then it was like, I think it was the second to last track where it started off with a different flow, but then eventually he ended up right back where he's most comfortable. And I think if he's going to continue to chase it, the next evolution is because he has the flow, he has the voice, he has the breathing down, he has the bars. The next challenge now is to diversify the flow and don't be afraid to take sonical risks. This project is fire. Bloodstained Suede, fire. Yeah. The Message, fire. The Air for Beats. If you're a person, again, Rap Roundtable, it can't always be clout rappers. If y'all love the culture the way y'all tell us that you do, when this project drops, we're going to have the link, we're going to post it. Make sure that you tap in because this album has everything y'all talk about in the chat, which I look for. It covers all of those bases.
Everything.
You know what I mean?
Tap in.
Yo,
highly recommended.
There was a bar I wrote down from Dialogue of Men that really touched me. Your man said, my goal's different, so our role's different. Niggas can never spit it how I spit it, nigga. My flow's different. Principality, sense of morality, code's different. I'm more in tune with divinity, bitch. My soul different. A stand-up nigga, my soul's different. I'm cut from a certain cloth, even the stitching in my clothes different.
I remember that bar.
Yeah.
That's different.
I'm saying that's what was said.
So
when Dini said it at the top of this review, he said there were no wasted bars.
None.
There were no. I call them. Dini had a different phrase. I call them layover bars, where you're just waiting for the next punchline. You're just giving us some rhymes.
Exactly.
You build them to the next punch. There was none of that on this project.
Nothing.
Every bar counted.
Intentional.
Counted. Yes. So again, Bloodstained Suede. When this album drops, we're gonna have the link. We're gonna post it in the community post on YouTube. Make sure you rush that. Make sure you tap in. In fact,
great music.
Once you leave here, if you don't want to wait on us, go on his Instagram, go on his Twitter, find him on YouTube, and subscribe, follow, like, do what you got to do to get familiar with I Am God. If you love rap the way you say you do, you will be doing yourself an injustice by not tapping into his work. You'll be playing yourself.
This is the fifth album I think in the last 3 years, and I'm definitely going back to tap into the other four because what I got from this was powerful. So salute, man.
Any final words on that before we close up this lunch hour?
Yo, to tell you how strongly I feel about this MC, the Chosen Part 2 song. I'm not gonna sample snitch, but if you're a Nas fan, you'll recognize that sample from Find Your Wealth. And anytime that I hear a beat or a sample that somebody like Nas has already rapped over, I'm gonna be like, what's homeboy gonna do with it? He worked it, bro. He worked it. He very much did that joint justice. Yeah, man. I Am God.
All I'm saying is shout out to Crypto, but I Am God. We know you watching this. That's tape number 6 in this run you want. So say the Rap Snob is right here. Hit that man up.
Hey, listen, I wasn't gonna say it. I was gonna say it. I'm gonna save that. I was gonna save that.
So say the Rap Snob.
But we need to.
Alongside I Am God, that next tape, I think
tough.
There's some magic here that could be made. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway,
sincerely,
I didn't want to make it sound like there was ulterior motives here.
I always got an ulterior motive.
Respect is respect, man.
Lunch hours coming to a close.
I make beats. Holla at me.
There you go. Dini the Balance. Take us home, bro.
Yeah, y'all know who y'all rocking with, man. It's your team, the Rap Roundtable. Salute to Sincere, the Rap Snob. Check him for them beats. Shout out to Jarv, the point guard, always running that offense right. Mesito, I see you, voice of the industry. I'm Dini the Balance, the chef, the roster. Call me what you want, as long as your mother loves me. We out here.
Yes, sir.